Hi everyone, my name is Weary, and today I will show you how to defend and break down the formation I use in eFootball that I feel like it will benefit the most for the new player that don't know where to start yet. And we also briefly mention some of the new player common mistakes as well. Let's get into it. The formation I'm using here is the 4-1-4-1 formation, and the play style is quick counter or long ball counter depending on your play style. First thing first, this is how I approach the math. The first commonly mistake that I saw new player have this problem is that usually people only keep the same formation for the entire match. And in my opinion, this will limit your option on how to create more opportunity to score a goal. So for this formation, I will only use this for the first half only. And the second half of the match, I will use a different formation, and I will talk about that in a different video. Talking about a defensive side of the eFootball, this is also the second mistake that I see a lot of new players having, that they usually have an attacking mindset. Everybody want to attack as most as they can, and they're not really focusing on defensive that much. But the difference between the new player and the veteran player is that they know how to covering their space. Okay, imagine if you have a three attacker just like this, right? You have like either a 2CF. You see a lot of people doing this. Like you have 2CF, and then you have an SS. You have a two winger and a CF. You have three attacker. That is mean you have a lot of space behind you right here for the opponent to exploit that.
Big no-no when you've got a queue formed in the box. Gabriel. Figo. And now the breakaway. That's an excellent interception. Kovacic. Davids. And the counter is on. Thiago. Towering header! Now that's caused a worry or two.
Pedri certainly could have and should have made more of that.
Nicely intercepted. Pedri. Neither of these two want to come off second best. Look at the space here. Great hit! Well, that is commitment to the cause.
If you're a new player and you don't know how to cover the space behind you like this, I will recommend you to avoid this kind of formation, because just really think about it. Like you have a lot of space in the back here, and then you're wondering why your defender keep going out of position, because let's say you have that space right there, and then the opponent try to attack on the space right here, and if your midfielder doesn't have enough time to cover that, then suddenly you see a left full back try to go up and then try to covering this position, and when he do that, he creating a lot of space in the back, in the left back right here, and that is when your opponent try to pass the ball into the midfield, and then the midfield try to make a through pass into your flank on the left, and that is when you're creating a lot of dangerous situation when you're playing. And now let's talk about the 4-1-4-1 formation, on how you defend on that same scenario where the let's say now you have Figo try to go up into the field and try to make some play up front right here, but then you lose your possession and the player asks, and then you still have a lot of space on your left side right here, and the opponent will try to take control of that, take advantage of that. So now let's say Law right here is to the opponent, actually let's say the Paul right here is the opponent winger, and they try to attack into this wing position, right? So now you will have a couple of options. Okay, The worst option that you can do is that you manually controlling your left back right here, your left full back, and try to go up and take the ball back. This is a really bad option because, like I said, it's creating a lot of space in the back right here, and it's really easy for their right back, opponent right back, to actually make a cross play. They cross over it, and then this guy the winger can just pass the ball into the right back, and then right back can just keep running, pass the ball over, and it can be just game over, right?
Played out to the right. Now the counter. He's shifting through the gears here. Climbs up big.
So that is the very first option you can do, but it's the worst one. The second one that you can do is that you try to take control of your midfield. Like you can try to control Verity right here or your DMF right here, and try to run over and take back the ball. And the third option that you can do is you can manually control your left fullback to keep running backward, back to your goal line. Keep running back. Do not try to confront this winger. Just keep going backward until you miss the line down here. And if this winger still have the ball until then, and it still try to make play go down in the flank right here, that is when you will commit 100% using your left fullback and try to take the ball back at that point. But because during the time when you're moving your left full back down a little bit like that, then there is another option, is that your left midfield right here, we have enough time to just going back and help to defend it, because his original position is a left midfield, so he will try to run backward and try to help the defending the wing on the left side. Okay, and when we're doing that, when they're doing that, the winger will have no option to go through this guy, but their right back will try to do an overlap with the winger, and they can overlap with the winger right here, and the Paul can just pass the ball into the right back right here. But after that, you still have your left back in the back right here to try to cover this position. So that is why you don't want to bring your left back to confront the winger right away. Until you have to wait until it's almost at the end right here. That is when you're using the left full back to fully commit into try to getting the ball back. And on the scenario when you actually have to use your fullback to try to confront this winger, okay? When you try to do that, if let's say your left back here try to confront the winger, and the winger have a right back to do an overlap run, so then DePaul pass the ball into this right back, their right back right here, and then they keep running. When that happening, your CB, your center back will try to cover the space, and he will run out wide and try to cover that. And when he doing that, this CB will try to move over to cover the space, and your right back will also try to move in the middle, or this defender will try to move in the middle. And that is when you mess up, because if you look at this, the center back have a very high jumping stat for the most part, right? They have very high jumping stat, but your right back or your defender midfield doesn't have that much stat on the jumping category. There's not as good as your center back when they try to take the ball in the air. So when they're doing like this, you basically sacrifice one center back, go out wide to take control of the ball, and then the in your center right now only have one center back to fight for the cross.
Nice interception. Chance to break. Gets away from his opponents.
Figo.
Massive lead! Goal! Manchester United!
So again, it's very important to not, in any circumstance, try to not bring your defender going up and try to tackling the ball. And do not manually doing that. Try to change your player. Either you manually control the defender and try to move backward, or you can try to control the defender midfield, any of the midfield, and try to go over and try to take control of it. Instead, let the AI controlling the defense rather than you doing it. And that is also why the 4-1-4-1 formation is good for defense, because you have a lot of options in the midfield where you can control a lot of players in the midfield to help with the defending when the opponent try to attack you.